Welcome back to another episode of Life in the Stands podcast. We have Jake and Zach on the podcast today. I want to thank everyone for their support, watching and listening. We really appreciate it. Remember to like and subscribe on whatever platform you're on. And today we're going to talk about a lot of rookies, just rookies in general. We're going to have a discussion about the WNBA Rookie of the Year race. It's been hotly debated between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. So we're talking about that a little bit. We're also going to talk about some standouts in the NBA Summer League so far, some of the rookies there making an impact and making some waves. So let's jump right into it, Bender. Let's talk about the WNBA Rookie of the Year conversation. I know we're going to end up on opposite sides of this thing. I'll let you kind of give some of your initial thoughts on the race here to start.
Yeah, so I know everybody's going to say Caitlin Clark because that's the big name person that's kind of changing the league essentially. But I'm actually going to go with Angel Reese. If you've been keeping up lately, 15 straight double doubles until that streak was cracked just last week. And I think that's pretty impressive as a rookie, especially 5 offensive rebounds a game. Now that might end up being like her own shots, like because I know you made a comment about that before. But it's still impressive nevertheless as a rookie averaging a double double. I believe 14 and 12 at the moment, 40% shooting for your knowledge, since I know you want to say she misses a lot in the paint and is not as efficient as of right now. But to be honest with you, neither is Caitlin Clark at the moment. So I'm going to let you take this one.
Yeah, you bring up, pure shooting percentage, and you're right. Angel Reese actually shoots a higher percentage from 2 point range than Caitlin Clark does. And I think when I looked at the stats, Angel Reese is like a tick above 40%, and Caitlin Clark is like right above 39% on all of her 2 point tries. But to me, what sticks out about Caitlin Clark is she's leading the league in assists right now, and she's on a bad team with a lot of missed shots and a lot of drop passes. If you look at a lot of Caitlin Clark's turnovers, a lot of them are like, oh, she got a rebound and outlet passed it down the floor. It hit a teammate's hands. They dropped it. They had an open layup and it went out of bounds. And like there's a turnover. And that's a lot of them for her. So I look at the fact she's leading the league in assists. Angel Reese is leading the league in rebounds, or she's been kind of jostling back and forth with Asia Wilson, but she's one of the top 2 or 3 rebounders in the league as well right now. But to me, like you've mentioned, it's a lot of offensive rebounds. Those 12 rebounds a game, 5 of them are offensive, 7 of them are defensive. A lot of those offensive rebounds are her own misses. So, like, yes, it's still dominating because, I mean, you can miss that many times in the paint and not get your own offensive rebound. So, the fact that she's still doing that, like, there's still a dominant presence there. But I think Caitlin Clark is playing on a worse team. They have a better record right now, and the Fever started 1-8, and they still have a better record than the Chicago Sky. I mean, she came in as the number 1 overall pick to a bad team. So I just think if you look at impact, look at the whole kind of game together, it's still Caitlin Clark for me. But I think Angel Reese still does not get the praise that she should for being how dominant she is, even if it's a lot of her own misses.
I also think Angel Reese has a bad image to her at the moment just because of the attitude she plays with. So I don't like that that's how she's portrayed at the moment.
I like that
Um,
though. So I mean,
she
that's a whole other
she's been
topic.
like that since college though. Like she's been going at Caitlin Clark since
Yeah.
2 years ago at this point. So it kind of all makes sense. Like she's gonna be the Draymond of that league, to be honest with you.
I was gonna
And
say
no,
Shaq. She's got a little bit of like Shaq in her to me.
yeah, a little
Yeah.
bit too.
Just
I
like
can see that.
I'm bigger than you, I'm meaner than you, and I'm gonna put you underneath the rim because I feel like it.
Yeah, as a rookie, she's doing that too.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm giving her credit. I like her hustle. I like that she still has room to grow and is still averaging 14 and 12 as a rookie.
Hmm.
Just the potential factor is cool to me. In regards to what you were saying with Caitlin Clark though, like I'm not I'm not gonna feel pity for her because she has crappy teammates. Like I think Caitlin Clark will end up being better than Angel Reese when it's all said and done. But like I'm not gonna just give Caitlin Clark a reward like an award because her team sucks. Um, Now the Chicago Sky aren't exactly the best either at the moment, but I'm not feeling pity for Angel Reese. She's still going out there and kind of doing her own thing.
Hmm.
What kind of kills me with Caitlin Clark is like her decision making at times. And I know you want to mention she was leading in assists, but even with the crappy teammates, but um, I just feel like she needs to clean it up a little bit for me. Like her struggles look worse than any other rookie struggles at this moment. And I don't know if it's because of the media or just the way I think of her, expectations even. We talked about that earlier this year already.
Right.
But like I just don't think she's there and I don't think she's ready to win anything yet. Now you might see her end up being an MVP, like a future MVP or something, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But not yet.
yeah. It's a good conversation to have. The other thing that makes this so difficult, I think, is the expectations placed on both of them are very different. Not that
Yes.
one necessarily has more or less, because as much as we talk about the expectations that are put on Clark, I think Angel Reese had a lot of expectations coming into her rookie year too, but they're just both asked to do very different things.
But
So,
Angel Reese is also on the same team as Cardoso. So like
right.
it all goes together. Like who are you playing with
Yeah.
helps, right?
Yeah.
Um, just the fact that Angel Reese is playing next to another big girl, like
Yeah.
and still putting up those numbers is kind of where I'm at. Caitlin Clark, they don't really have another ball handler on that team. So it makes sense that everything is in her hands. So
Right.
that's just the way I think.
Right. And again, like it just goes back, like they're asked to do very different things, right? But they're both, I would say, starring in their roles as rookies. I do agree that Caitlin Clark has to clean it up a little bit, but there's also not another rookie in the WNBA right now that's been asked to shoulder the entire offensive load of their team when they're in the game.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right. Right. So, like, to be fair, yeah, like she has some things that she needs to clean up, and she needs to probably realize who she's playing with, to the point where maybe she doesn't throw some of those long range passes. Maybe she doesn't try to drop it off in that tiny window that she thinks she can fit it in. But if it's not going to be a successful catch or a successful play from there, then just hold on to it and find the next opportunity. So there's definitely
Yeah.
some things to clean up.
There's also a lot of like she expects her teammates to be in one place and they're in a completely other place. So it's
Yep.
about being on the same page, which is why I think they started out so bad this season. They're finally kind of figuring it out a little bit more. So that's good to see. But in conclusion here, I just think you can't go wrong with whoever you choose at this point. It's a great rookie class, and it's a shame that Cameron Brink can't be a part of the rest of the season. I feel bad for her, but hopefully she comes back stronger than ever, like the other girls are at the moment, and we'll see what happens. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it I'll echo that and just say this rookie class is really impressive, because we're talking about the rookie of the year race, and we're not mentioning Cameron Brink because she is out for the year now and has been. We're not mentioning people like Cardoso, who you already kind of brought up before. So there's a lot of other names in this class that are going to be really solid WNBA players. So it's interesting to see them kind of mature and blossom into the WNBA. And I feel like we're seeing a similar kind of transition in the WNBA with stars like we are in the NBA. Like you're watching like the Sue
For sure.
Birds and the Diana Taurasi's kind of like pass it down to the
Yeah.
Sabrina Ionescu's and that whole crowd. Arike Ogunbowale. I
I
can't.
can't even pronounce her
I'm
name. I'm
gonna
not gonna
butcher that
try.
name, but
She's
hopefully,
great though. I can't
yeah,
pronounce her name. I'm
yeah,
not about to butcher it.
yeah,
Not
she's
like Charles
fantastic.
Barkley. Nope, I'm good.
But with that, let's jump into a player of the week conversation. We're going to keep doing these every week, and then this is going to kind of jumpstart the next set of rookies that we'll talk about. But we'll let Bender take it away there.
Yeah, so I'm gonna bring you another player of the week here, and it's actually an NBA Summer League player that I talked a lot of crap on during our NBA draft special. So I would like to say I apologize
Me
for
too.
calling you the most average player in the whole entire draft and that you should drop out of the lottery. So I apologize for saying that. And I didn't know you had it like that. It's Montas Buzelis from the Chicago Bulls. He was their top pick. He's averaging 20 in the summer league games right now. He's an absolute beast in summer league right now. I did not expect this from him at all, from putback slams to just driving full head of steam at the basket, hustling hard on defense, everything. Like he's got, I don't even know. Maybe me thinking he was average in every category was like maybe he's above average in every category now after looking at the summer league tape. That I'm sorry, that shit was crazy. When I saw that, I was like, no way I talk crap about this man and he just dropped what 20 plus.
Yeah, it didn't make
But
us look great. It didn't make us look great the way he's been going off in summer league. But
no, it did not.
props to him. It looks like he's going to be a real rotation piece for the Bulls.
Yeah, starter.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we're going to wrap up the show with a couple of start bench cut with NBA rookies that have been doing well in the summer league, or maybe not doing as well if we're going to cut them. But we're going to do 2 rounds of start bench cut. We're going to start with some big guys, some centers, forwards, that kind of thing, and then we're going to do some guards. So let's start with the centers or the forwards here, Bender. We're going to do start bench cut with the second overall pick, Alex Sarr, Donovan Clingan out of UConn, and Zach Edey out of Purdue, all in the NBA now. Start bench cut.
I'm gonna start Donovan Clingan. because he just sunned Alex Sarr the other night in a summer league game. Um, and I think that's pretty safe to say after Alex Sarr went over 15. Now, I'm going to backtrack and say I don't like the amount of hate that Alex Sarr is getting because I feel like you still need to give rookies a little bit more room to grow than just saying like, oh, you went over 15, you're a bust already, like you're Anthony Bennett level. No, sorry. Um, I'm gonna cut Zach Edey, so I'm gonna bench Alex Sarr, cut Zach Edey, start Klingen. I don't like Zach Edey to be honest with you. I'd like to see what he does in the NBA. I want to see if he can get up and down the court. He might need to lose a little bit of weight just to be able to do that, but I don't know if losing weight will actually help him. Like if you lose weight, you turn into what Chet and you get pushed around. So I don't know how that dynamic actually works with them. But there is promise. Alex Sarr, I think, has the tools to be great. He reminds me of like a small center, so like play a four spot. I said he reminded me a little bit of Anthony Davis. Obviously, he's not quite that talented, or else Anthony Davis would have dropped 30 in a summer league game and not 0 points in a summer league game.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and then Donovan Klingen is the surprise of this, showing his shot blocking ability and showing his mobility on offense.
right.
Um, and even passing out of the pick and roll spot. Like if he catches the ball in like a short roll, he's booting that out or like hitting a cutter or something. So I think his IQ really shows, and it shows why he was a national champion.
Yeah, it's hard to disagree with that. So you're gonna start Klingen, bench Sarr, cut Edie.
Yes.
I have a couple things to say. First of all, Tony Snell can sit down because we have a new all-time meme for an over game, right? The Alex Sarr meme with the over 7, over
Yes.
15, like nothing. Yeah, Tony Snell can take a rest because we have new ammo to use in any situation like that. So thank you, Alex Sarr, for that. I have also have a better comp for Alex Sarr, I think, than Anthony Davis. I would say Serge Ibaka.
That's good too.
And that first summer league game, I think, is a good representation of that because he's a great rim protector. He can definitely get up and block shots, but yeah, has the ability to stretch the outside and that kind of thing. If Serge Ibaka comes into the league 15 years later when it is a shooting league, I think he looks a little bit like Alex Sarr.
Versatility matters too.
Right, definitely. So I'm in the same boat where I think Alex Sarr does have a ton of upside. I think I'm actually going to go kind of opposite here. I'm going to keep Alex Sarr right in the middle, but I'm going to start Zach Edey and I'm going to bench Donovan Klingen. And the reason I'm doing this is because of some film I saw on Zach Edey the other day talking about his screen setting in Summer League so far, and dudes just cannot get around him. Like he's setting screen on people, and there is distance in between that nearest defender and that guy coming off the ball screen. And then I think about the dudes that the Grizzlies have on that team, and I think about the situations where they'd use Zach Edey. And I'm not saying it's gonna be perfect; they're gonna have to figure some things out. But long term, I think Zach Edey is gonna be a really solid NBA center. He can block shots. He's going to set fantastic screens, and he's got enough of like a little baby hook game that if you do get him in the short post, he's got touch with floaters or things like that. So I know that it's like painful for you to listen to right now, but I really think Zach Edey is going to be a super big piece of the Grizzlies this year.
Not better than the other two. That's just not how that's gonna happen. Donovan Klingen already showed his shot blocking. You need the mobility in general. Zach Edey is not mobile at all. He's just a big stiff. So I feel like he's just gonna get exposed unless they find a way to figure it out between him and Jaren Jackson Jr. Like I get what the Grizzlies are trying to do. They're trying to revamp that defense over there.
They're trying to do
Um,
the Timberwolves,
yeah, they're trying to do the Timberwolves crap right now, but
which is what it's the Pelicans. The Pelicans started this shit with
I
Anthony
don't know
Davis and
how we
Marcus
would
Smart.
measure. For sure. I don't know how we would measure this, but if I had to put a bet on it, I'm pretty sure I'd put Klingon and Sar having a better season than Zach. I don't know how we would make a bet on this, but no way.
Yeah, it also depends on what
Move
you
on.
define as like better season, right? But yeah, moving on. Maybe we can make that a whole episode, or we'll leave it up to Twitter. Maybe we could put it out on Twitter. But let's move on to our next start bench cut. We're gonna have some of the guards here now. It's gonna be Reed Shepard, Rob Dillingham, and Stefan Castle. Go ahead, Bender.
I think it's an easy start. I think you start Reed Shepard, averaging 25 and 5 on 39% three-point shooting in summer league.
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky always gets bucket getters, and I don't know how, and I don't care how. It's just kind of fun at this point.
Easiest decision in the draft is getting a Kentucky guard.
Yeah, he honestly reminds me of like a really young Devin Booker with a little bit more three-point shooting to him. And again, if you think about the way people are developing their bags nowadays, they're trying to get the three-point line installed basically, and work on that. So maybe he ends up better than Devin Booker, which would be kind of crazy to say, but it's a possibility. My bench is going to be Stephon Castle, and it's just because I like his defense over Rob Dillingham. Dillingham had like a struggle game in his first summer league game, and it was kind of like he's got that burst to him. Like Rob's got that burst to him, but not the consistency yet. And I think I saw a little bit more consistency out of Castle's game than Dillingham. Dillingham has no structure to him,
Yeah.
whereas you know what you're getting from Castle.
Yeah, I'm gonna exactly copy this. I think Reed Shepard, I agree, is like the far and away starter in this situation. He's looked fantastic all throughout summer league. Stephon Castle isn't gonna play anymore in summer league, but when he was in there, he looked really good too. And like you said, he's gonna be a great two-way player. I think the defensive side of what he can do for you. He's your stereotypical 3 and D guard that you need as many of you can get in the NBA. Like you need as many of those guys as you can get. He's a prime example of that.
And I will tell you right now, the way Castle looked as a rookie in summer league is the same way that SGA looked. Because SGA is also a two-way player, leading the league in steals at a point this past season. He played next to CP3 in OKC before he was the lead dog. CP3 is with San Antonio, so
Yep.
maybe he can teach him some things like he did with SGA and develop him a little bit.
Yeah, I think having CP3 in San Antonio is a huge underrated factor for him there. And then yeah, as far as Dillingham goes, he reminds me almost like a Brandon Jennings, where like he's got the herky jerk thing going on. Like he's definitely twitchy and can
Yeah,
like shake someone out of their shoes, almost even like Jamal Crawford in that way. But if
yeah,
you look at Jamal Crawford in his whole entire NBA career, maybe the best highlight reel ever. But did he ever average more than 10 or 15 points a game? Like, was he really ever that much of a difference maker on a winning team?
debatable.
Debatable, right? So it's like, it feels like Dillingham is in that kind of a category, at least with the way his game plays right now. But that's all for this episode of Life in the Sands podcast. Thanks everyone again for watching and listening. Remember to like and subscribe on whatever platform you're on, and we'll see you on the next episode.